Welcome to your fourth violin lesson. So in this lesson, I'm going to quickly go over how to put on this fingering guide sticker for your violin. You don't necessarily need this, but I feel like having this will make it 10 times easier to know where to put your fingers on your violin. I'm also going to go over left hand fingering posture, so how to hold the violin. I'm going to go over some left hand fingering patterns, and at the end, I'll give you some fingering exercises. That's the application, so don't skip out on that. All right, so I've actually never used one of these, so you're gonna see me open this for the first time. So I'm gonna open it from the back side. Looks like it just slides out. Okay, what is this? Some kind of guide here. Oh, okay, so the outline comes off of it. The corner I'm peeling off. I'm gonna hold my violin very dangerously high. Okay, putting it under, slide it to the top until I can't go more. Okay guys, this is pretty sticky. All right, I think I got it. Yeah, it's pretty good. Okay, so I got it on there. I'm gonna push it against, let it stick, and then I'm gonna fold in the flaps. Folding in the flaps. And I think that's it. There you go. I like it tells you on the side, the first position, second position, third, fourth. And then it even tells you that it's lower, flat, and sharp. If you look at this, it tells you what those notes are. It's pretty cool. I think this will be a great resource if you get one of these. All right, moving on. All right, so let's talk about the left hand posture. So if you put your violin on your shoulder, if you're not playing the violin, the best way to hold your violin is to really just grab the shoulder on the right side. So this is the most secure way to hold your violin when you're not playing. All right, so with left hand posture, I'm gonna place my violin between this gap right there. Once I put my violin here, there should be enough room to stick my pinky or pencil through between the violin and my hand. Another thing is that you want to keep your wrist straight, naturally straight, okay? Not like this, not even like this, like just like this. Once you actually start putting your fingers on the violin, you're actually going to curve your hand towards the violin, the fingerboard, like this, so your fingers have an easier time reaching the strings. So I'm going to go over how to put your fingers on the violin. So while holding my violin like this, I'm using almost the tip of my finger to put it on the violin right here. Kind of the paddy part, the pad part of my finger. Same with my second finger. And also I'm putting it down from my first knuckle, which is going to be here. I'm using the power of my first knuckle here to place my fingers on the strings. Okay, notice how my fingers are curved when I place it on this string, okay? With exception to my fourth finger because it's so short. I've seen people put their finger down like this. Don't do this. I don't know what other ways that there are, but make sure it's curved. All right, so now let's get into fingering patterns. So if you want to follow along in your Suzuki book, mine's on page 20, or whatever page that looks like this. For the first section, you're going to see a photo, and under that, you're going to see a staff with the treble clef and 4 whole notes. So if you see like an oval thing, that's called a whole note. And in terms of rhythm value, whole notes take up 4 beats. So if you're holding that note out, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So in that staff, you're gonna see 4 notes. They all have numbers above them. Those numbers represent your fingering. So if I'm counting on my hand, this is gonna be 1, this is gonna be 2, this is gonna be 3, that's 4. The first note is called B, the second note is called C sharp, the third note is called D, the fourth note is called E. You'll also notice that the C has a sharp on it, that's why it's called C sharp. And then you'll see that the C sharp and the D have a V line connecting it together. All that means is that your second and your third finger will be touching. 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. C sharp, D, 2, 3, and then E. 2. Those are the 4 notes. In the second section, right under that, you'll see another staff. So that's also B, but then it's C natural, D, E. You also notice that the B and the C natural have that line also. That means that the first and the second finger are touching. So it has this finger pattern. Ready, go. 2, 3, 4. those are the 4 notes. Hey, this sticker thing's actually pretty accurate. And then the last section there, you'll see that there's a B, a C sharp, a D sharp, and an E. And then you see that line, that D sharp and the E with the line connecting it together. That means that the 3rd and the 4th finger are touching. All right, so now we're gonna do some fingering exercises to get some practice with what we just learned. So if you're following along in the Suzuki book, I'm on page 23 or whatever page that looks like this. All right, so I'm gonna play the first exercise on that page, but I want you to pay attention to what I'm doing for the first round through. I want you to pay attention to what I'm doing with my right hand and what I'm doing with my left hand. So with my right hand, I'm playing it in the middle section of bow. I'm not using all of my bow. I'm just using a small portion of the bow. And then I'm abruptly stopping my arm to play the staccatos on the 8th notes. With my left hand, you'll see that I'm preparing which note to play during the rests. So pay attention to what I'm doing with my fingers. Also note that the fingering pattern is the first fingering pattern that I taught you, with the first, second, and the second and third finger being close together. Ready? Go. Now. Rest. Rest. Rest, 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 rest. All right, so there is a repeat sign, but I didn't do it. Feel free to repeat it twice through to get more practice. Now I'm gonna play the second exercise on the page, which is gonna be on the E string. Ready? Go. And. Rest. 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 All right, so hopefully that wasn't too hard. On the next page, on page 24 of my book, these exercises address fingering preparations. So for these exercises, what we want to do is, once we have the violin up, we want to quickly put our first finger, second finger, and third finger down accurately, okay? And then start the exercise. Let me quickly demonstrate. So the first exercise on that page, let me just play it for you. So following their instructions, I'm putting the first finger, second finger, third finger. And then before I play it, under that staff, you'll see that there are the numbers 3, 2, 1, and then lines going across the page. What that means is it's telling you not to take those fingers off until the line ends. For example, you don't take your third finger off until you finish that last staccato 8th note on that measure, first measure. And then you don't take your second finger off until the last 8th note of the second measure. And then you don't take your first finger off until the last 8th note of the third measure. So let me quickly play that for you. So put your first finger down, second finger down, third finger down. Ready, go. Take your third finger off, rest, and take your second finger off, rest, and take your first finger off, rest, and rest, rest. Put all your fingers back, repeat. Rest, rest, and take your second finger off, rest, and take your first finger off, rest, and rest, rest. Okay, that's how you do that. The next exercise is similar, but just on your E string. So I'm going to show you how to do that real quick. Put your fingers first. E, first finger, second finger, third finger, bow. Ready, go. Take your third finger off. Ready, and. Take your second finger off. Ready, and. Take your first finger off. Ready, and. Repeat. Put your fingers back, and. Take your third finger off, and. Take your second finger off. Ready, and. Take your first finger off. Ready, and. All right, that's it. Now I'm gonna go over the third and fourth exercises on that page. Now we're incorporating our fourth finger, which is gonna be the hardest finger to get used to using. But that's why we're doing this, right? We're practicing. So I'm gonna go over the third exercise. I'm gonna talk you through it. So put your first finger, second finger, third finger on, and fourth finger. If you have to, move your elbow under the violin slightly to get a little bit more reach for your fourth finger, okay? Ready, and go. Take your fourth finger off. Ready, and. Take your third finger off. Ready, and. Take your second finger off. Ready, and. And then put all your fingers back, second, third, fourth. I'm doing it quickly, but you can do it slowly. You can take your time. So first finger, second finger, third finger. Make sure it's accurate. That's more important than the quickness of it. Ready, go. Rest. Take your fourth finger off and third finger off. Ready, and. Take your first, second finger. Okay, I think that's it. Yeah. And then the fourth exercise is same thing, but on your E string. Okay, ready, go. Take your fourth finger off. Rest, rest, and. Rest, rest, and. Then put your fingers back. Ready, and. Rest, 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 and rest, rest, and. Okay, that's how you do that. So the point of all of that was to make sure your fingers are ready, then make sure your bow is ready, and then play, okay? All right, that's the order. Fingers, bow, then play. So now you should know how to hold your violin with your left hand, some fingering patterns, and some fingering exercises for you to practice for this week. Actually practice them before you go on to the next video, because I want you to really get used to this. We're going to be moving very quickly, so the time you take to learn these skills will be very valuable. If you have any questions about anything, please leave them in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them and clear up any confusions and any details that I might have missed in this video. All right, happy practicing, and I'll see you in the next lesson.